Hello, my darling yogis, and welcome to your Vinyasa flow class. My name is Hannah, and I will be your guide today. So thank you so much for joining me. Today we have a strength-based flow. So we're gonna, work on building up our stamina, building up our strength, and also mix in a little bit of flexibility of the hips. So let's go ahead and get started in child's pose. So you're gonna bring the toes together. Send the knees out wide, about mat width distance, and then start to crawl the fingertips long across the top of your mat. And rest the forehead down on the earth. And just feel the hips as they start to sink down towards the heels. And start to come into your breath. Feeling each inhale expand all along your back. And then feel yourself releasing tension on each exhale. We use our breath to cultivate that mind-body awareness. One more collective breath. Go ahead and exhale all the air from your lungs. Inhaling to expand, filling the lungs all the way up until you can't fit any more air in. Then sip one more tiny bit of air and pause. Then open your mouth, releasing everything you've been holding on to. And slowly make your way to tabletop. Stacking the shoulders and wrists in one line. Bringing the hips on top of the heels and spread those fingertips nice and wide. Pressing into the ground, feel the core engage. And on an inhale, drop the belly down to the earth. Bring the gaze up. Feel that heart shining forward through the arms. Exhaling to push the ground away, tucking the chin into the chest. Feel those shoulder blades pulling apart. Inhale to drop the belly down and bring the gaze up to the sky. Nice stretch all along the front side body. And exhale to push the ground away. Notice how the core tightens up. Ribs tuck in. And one more. Inhaling, cow pose. Tailboning shines up to the sky. And exhale to push the ground away. Arch the spine, tucking the tailbone and the chin together. Then come back to neutral, and on an inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky. Bring the gaze up. Exhale as you thread the needle, setting the right shoulder on the ground. Forehead can either come to the earth or gaze over to the left. And then stretch that left arm long above your head. This should feel nice all along that right shoulder. Option for half bind if you want to take that right or the left arm and drop it behind your back. Slowly come down, bring that left palm to the earth, sweep the right arm up to the sky. And on your next exhale, go ahead and set that right palm down. And we'll repeat on the other side. Inhaling to sweep that left arm open, stacking the shoulders on top of each other. Exhaling to thread the needle, setting the left shoulder on the ground. And slowly extending that right arm long above your head. Exhaling to soften the body. And maybe taking that half bind if you want to bring the right arm up and then set it down at your low back. Or maybe into the inside of that left thigh. Slowly unwinding, bringing that right palm back up, inhaling to open the body wide, exhaling to come back through tabletop. And let's go ahead and tuck the toes, send the hips back, then make your way into your first down dog. You can pedal it out here, bending deeply into each knee to open up the hamstrings to create a little bit of openness and flexibility in the body. And then come to stillness, settling in here. Our fingers are spread so wide. I want you to try to separate your thumbs and your pinkies as far apart as they can go. You can be up on the balls of your feet here. No need to drop the heels down. That's a bit more of an advanced expression here. You can also keep a gentle bend in the knees too if your hamstrings are feeling a little bit closed off. Then slowly start to tiptoe your way to the top of the mat, taking a ragdoll pose. So grabbing for opposite elbows here and then swaying to just create a little bit of openness along the vertebrae. Letting that head hang heavy. Shake it, yes. Shake your head, no. Say yes to peace, happiness, and awareness. And then just say no to all of your worries, to any negative emotions that you need to release. And then go ahead and release the fingertips to the earth as you slowly start to stack each vertebrae one on top of the other, coming to mountain pose, letting the head be the very last to rise. And then go ahead and shrug those shoulders up, down, and back. Palms shine bright forward. Chest is proud. Relax those shoulders down the back. Inhaling to sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhaling to release that right arm down, tilting over to the right. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, dropping it over to the left side. Inhaling to come back up. Exhaling, dropping it over to the right and pausing here for a few breaths. I want you to feel all the elongation from the hip all the way out through those fingertips. Core is engaged. Draw the left shoulder in line with the right. And try not to let that left hip poke up. Let the hips be in line. Inhale to come back up. And exhale to melt the body over to the other side. Inhaling both arms up. Exhaling, dropping the hands to heart center, bowing the head, and setting your intention for your practice. Whatever brought you onto your mat today, whatever you need to cultivate a little bit more of in your life, or maybe what you need to release. But whatever that is, I want you to see that intention. And on your exhale, dive it forward, sending that intention out into the world, coming to forward fold. Inhaling to come through flat back, extending long through the spine. Exhaling to bring the hands to the earth as you step it back, making your way into a high push-up plank. I want you to gaze down at those fingers, spreading each finger wide, trying to make all of your fingers about equal distant from each other. The index finger and the thumb are making a J shape, a wide J. Your tailbone is tucked into the body. And go ahead and pick up that right foot, pointing through the right toes. You might come up onto the fingertips of the left hand. I want you to really press into the right fingertips as maybe you play around with lifting up that left hand. This should not be easy. This should be a challenge. And release. We'll go ahead and give it another go on the other side. Choosing your level, knowing that just simply sending the left leg long behind you is an incredible challenge on the body. So respecting where you're at in your journey, we are not here to conquer these poses. Maybe you extend that right arm forward. Releasing it back down, shifting forward onto the toes, bend into the elbows, chaturanga, come all the way down onto your belly. Go ahead and untuck the toes as you peel the chest up, coming through low cobra. The elbows are swiveled in tight to the body. We're light on our fingertips, and the tops of our toes are pressing so firmly into the ground that the knees pull up. Inhale, lift up one more inch. Exhale, release it back down. Tuck those toes. Press your way back to downward facing dog. Beautiful movement here. I want you to walk the feet in just about foot width. Just shorten up the length of your dog. And we're going to make it a skinny dog. So let's bring the toes to touch and the thumbs to touch. And here I want you to extend that right leg long behind you. And then come up onto the fingertips of the left hand. Maybe you start to pick up that left hand. Again, this should not be easy. This is an incredibly big balance challenge. You might bring the left arm back in line with the left hip. And if you fall out, just get right back into it. Slowly release back down. Let's give it one more go on the other side. Sending that left leg long behind you. Spreading those left fingertips nice and wide. Your ability to really grip onto the earth with those left fingertips is what's going to help you find your balance. Pointing strong through those left toes as maybe you start to pick up the right fingers. Maybe you start to draw the right wrist in line with that right hip. Knowing that this is a huge challenge. Slowly releasing your way back down and not getting too caught up in anything that you can or cannot do. It's called a yoga journey. And learning to enjoy the whole journey will help you find much more peace, not only in your practice, but in your life. Gaze forward, bend the knees, hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to come through flat back, resting the hands either on the shins, or if you're still working on even creating space in the hamstrings, a couple blocks can be helpful here. But wherever you're at, just grow super nice and long through your spine. And exhale, release. Go ahead and take a forward fold. Now come through chair pose, Utkatasana. Send those hips back. Arms are in line with the ears. The fingertips, we're super active in the fingertips. Shift the weight back into the heels. Gaze down at those toes. Make sure that you can see the toes in front of the knees. If you can't, go ahead and send those hips back even further. Drop it down a couple more inches. Inhale. Exhale. Chair plane. Go ahead and send the arms back behind you, taking airplane arms. Inhale here. Exhale, you might be able to bring the hands together behind your back. If you're having a hard time finding this grip, you might hold a towel between your hands to create a little bit more space as you're slowly developing that flexibility in the shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale as you slowly come up onto the tippy toes. Coming up super high on the balls of your feet. It's going to help you with your balance here, spreading those toes wide and really pressing the knees together. Core is engaged. Inhale. Exhale as you start to tip the upper body forward. I want you to find one point to focus on. It's called your drishti, and it'll help you cultivate that balance as you're tipping the chest into the knees, sending those hands up to the sky. Inhale. Woo! And if you fall, you get right back into it. You don't let it rock you too mentally. And slowly unwind, bringing the heels back down to the ground, releasing the arms, sweeping the arms up to the sky in line with the ears. Inhale. Exhale, engage the core as you come to a back bend, goal posting the arms, broadening through the chest. Send those hips forward, bring the gaze up to the sky. Exhale to stand. Inhaling here. Exhale, swan dive forward, broadening through the chest. Inhale to come through flat back. Exhale, bring the hands to the earth, step it back, high push-up plank. We're going to go through upward facing dog this time if that's in your practice, otherwise go through low cobra again. So shift forward on those toes, bring the shoulders in front of the wrists. This will help take some of the effort off of the wrists, bending into the elbows, and this time instead of going all the way down, sweep the hips and the knees off of the earth, gazing somewhat in front of you, maybe a little bit up. We're broadening through the chest, the shoulders are drawn in tight. Inhaling here. Exhale, send those hips up and back. Beautiful movement here. Gaze to the top, spread those fingers nice and wide, bend the knees, and then hop the feet up to meet the hands. When you do those hops, you want to set those toes down as lightly as possible. Inhale to come through flat back. Exhale to fold. Let's make our way back into chair pose. Utkatasana, hips down, arms up, core engaged. You've got the nice natural curvature of your spine, so we're not over exaggerating. We're not tucking our tailbone either. Just the natural curve of our spine here. And then I want you to start to pour the weight into the left toes. Spread those left feet nice and wide as you come through one-legged mountain pose. So we've got the toes flexed into the shin, and we're trying to make a nice 90-degree shape with that right leg. Inhale here. Exhale as you start to reach forward. And you're either grabbing around the knee here, or you can grab around the foot. If you grab around the foot, see if you can just start to extend the foot. Maybe you only extend it a couple inches. Maybe you extend it all the way. If you're extending it all the way, draw those shoulders in line, back into the spine. If you've got this bend, if you've got your knee bent, it's doing the same thing with our chest and our shoulders. We're just challenging our balance here, growing and developing. Inhale. Wherever you're at, on your next exhale, open the hip up to the side. And start to extend that left arm out to the side, bringing it parallel to the earth. You might have, if you opened it up to the side, you might have the peace finger grip here. Got options. Yoga is all about options and honoring your body and where it's at. Inhale. Exhale, draw it back through center. And we're going to switch grips. So this time bringing the left hand to the right foot or to the right knee. Sweeping that right arm up, around, and back. Twisting here, gazing behind you if it's there. This is a big balance challenge. So if the balance challenge is a little too much for you, just gaze forward. Wherever you're at, you find that drishti though. Really grounding down through the left toes, letting those left toes act like roots, like tree roots to bring you into the earth. Inhale. Exhale, come back through center, bring the arms up to the sky, and make your way to figure four. So we're crossing that right ankle on top of the left knee, hands in prayer pose at your heart. And then just start to tip the chest forward, bending deeper into the hips here. Letting each exhale soften that right outer hip. Inhaling to come up, exhaling, making your way into dancer pose. So bending that right knee, grabbing around the inside edge of that right foot. And we're reaching up nice and high to the sky. I want you to take one moment here to very intentionally ground down through those left toes, reaching up so high through those left fingers as you start to kick the right foot back, kicking it back, and then once you can't kick anymore, start to tilt the upper body forward, dropping the left hand parallel to the earth and gazing softly forward. Again, this is another one of those drishti poses. Find that focal point, your drishti, to allow you to go deeper into the balance. We're here for 3. Coming out as slowly as we can in 2. And releasing in 1. Beautiful yogis, inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale, releasing backward, nice back bend. Inhale to come up. Exhale, drop those hips back down into chair pose. Taking a moment here to reestablish our practice, to reestablish our intention and our awareness. Go ahead and bring the awareness to that right foot as you draw the left knee up to one-legged mountain. Toes flexed into the shin. Inhale. And then exhale as you bend forward. Again, this time either grabbing the knee or grabbing around the bottom of the foot. Whichever one allows your shoulders to draw back into the shoulder girdle. Inhaling here. If you'd like to begin to straighten that left leg out, you can. Or if you're here, I want you to work on broadening through the chest.
Inhale. Bringing that awareness back to that right foot, the balancing foot. And on an exhale, start to send the right arm up over to the side as you open the left knee to the left side body. Our core is strong. We've got lots of energy coming through that standing leg as we open up through the left hip. Inhaling. And exhaling, slowly coming back through center, switching the grip. Bringing the right arm to the left knee as you send the left hand up to the sky. Or again, taking the peace fingers on the toes to extend that left leg long. Again, choosing your option here as you send that left arm behind you. And then choosing to gaze. Gaze is either forward or you might slowly switch it behind you. Breathing. Cultivating both a mental and physical balance. Slowly come back through center, inhaling here. And exhaling, making your way to figure four. In figure four, the left toes are flexed super firmly into the left shin. This helps protect the knee joint. And then slowly start to soften those hips down and back. Hands resting at heart center. Coming back to that breath, that awareness. Slowly start to unwind and make your way to dancer pose. So again, grabbing the inside of that left foot and then bringing the awareness to the right toes, all four corners of the right feet. That's what's going to help you make your way safely and securely, feeling nice and balanced in this posture. Reach those right arms up to the sky as you start to kick back and reach forward. Find that drishti. Find that focal point. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly make your way out. Slowly coming out of that posture is so much more important than how deep you go into it. Yoga is not just the asanas, it's not just the postures, but it's about moving with intention through all aspects of your life, all aspects of your practice. So those transitions are so very important. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale as you dive it forward, forward fold. Inhale to come through flat back. Exhale, bring the hands to the earth. Option for a crow pose, a bakasana. So if you want to try this today, go ahead and spread those fingers nice and wide. These fingers are what's going to help you find your balance in this arm balance. So spread them nice and wide. Gaze to the top of your mat. You start to tilt the chest forward, and maybe you bring contact between the elbows and the triceps. This is step 1. This is challenging. I want you to work at this. I want you to work on making this feel more comfortable as you start to tilt the chest forward. We're looking for chaturanga arms here, so 90-degree bend in that elbow, and then maybe playing around with picking up the toes. Maybe you pick up both toes one day. Trying to hug everything in, hug those elbows in tight to the body, gaze to the top of the mat. 3, 2, 1, slowly release it down, coming into Malasana, wide-legged yogi squat. If you've got a block and you're having a hard time kind of softening into this posture, you can use a block to sit on here. It can help release some of the tension out of those hips. Inhale. And exhale. We'll go ahead and take a gorilla pose to release some of the pressure on our wrists. So for gorilla pose, you're taking the tops of your palms and setting them on the earth, bending as deeply into the knees as you need to, and then stepping your feet on top of the palms. You're trying to bring the toes to massage the wrists here. Again, taking as big of a bend as you need. If you can straighten the legs here, you can also work on some hamstring flexibility. But wherever you're at, pulling the chest down to the thighs. And taking some slow, softening breaths.
Beautiful. Go ahead and release. Palms spread wide. Step it back to high push-up plank. And then release your weight all the way down onto your belly. We're going to do some spinal strengthening here. So untuck the toes. And we're going to send the palms flat to the earth, back in line with the hips. Exhaling here to release. Exhale all the air from your lungs. And on your inhale, I want you to pick up the feet and the hands here. So try to draw those heels together. Try to pick that chest up off the ground. Glutes are engaged. The low back is fired up. Your gaze is ahead. Try to elongate through that spine. You're here for 3. Releasing in 2. And 1. Let's go ahead and release it down. And you can rest your head on your hands here at the top of your mat. Go ahead and extend that right arm out from your body, bringing the left palm to the ground beneath your shoulder as you open up the body, sending that left foot on that ground. Left knee points up to the sky, getting into the shoulder space. You might take some circles with that left arm if that feels good. You might drop the left arm to your low back. Or you might one day find that right arm and left hand together. Slowly release, coming out the same way you came in. And then let's repeat on the opposite side. So extend the left arm out 90 degrees from your body. Bring the right palm to the ground as you press in to the ground, peeling that right hip up, and then setting the right foot on the ground behind you. Moving slowly with intention, slow enough that we know if any part of the movement doesn't feel good in our bodies. Everything that I speak to in this class is purely a suggestion, a way for you to feel good in your bodies. So please just take what feels good and bring the awareness into your experience on the mat. And slowly unwinding here, coming out with all the intention and care. And then go ahead and press into the palms, tuck the toes, and send the hips back to downward facing dog. Go ahead and extend that right leg long behind you and step it forward to a low crescent lunge. Untucking the toes behind you. And then you can kind of shift the hips back and forth and just explore what you're feeling. Inhaling to sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhaling as you cross the fingers and press that right knee forward. Should help you get a little bit deeper into the hip flexor on the left side. You've got your feet kind of like you're on skis, parallel to one another. Inhaling to sweep the arms up. Exhaling to come into a little back bend here. On your next inhale, bring both palms to the ground as you straighten that front leg out, flexing the toes into the body, coming into half splits. Letting each exhale soften as you release the body. Flexing the toes on this right foot will help you get a little bit more accessibility in that hamstring. Slowly bring the bend back into that right knee as you make your way into lizard pose. So in lizard pose, the right knee kind of pivots out to the side. The right foot can either be flat on the earth or you can come up onto the outside edge of that right foot. We're just going slow and exploring the movement. Maybe making your way down onto your forearms if that accessibility is there for you. If you're still working on it and you've got a block, this is a great place to use a block. Just send the breath to the hips. And slowly release. palms to the ground. Tucking the toes and sending that right leg up and back, bending the right knee and taking a scorpion dog. So opening up through the hip, but still trying to draw that right shoulder in line with the hip, with the left. You might gaze under that left shoulder and see the toes of the right foot. Inhale to extend and exhale to release. Let's repeat on the other side. So send that left leg long. Step it forward, low crescent lunge. And again, just taking the time to explore the hips on the left side here and appreciating the differences in our bodies from one side to another. Inhaling to sweep the arms up. Exhaling, crossing the fingers, bringing them onto that left thigh to press that left knee forward and deepen the stretch on our right hip flexor. Inhaling to sweep the arms up once more. Exhaling to take a back bend, keeping our core engaged in all of our back bends to protect our spine. Exhale, bring those hands down to frame the foot and begin to straighten out the left leg, flexing the toes into the body. If you're finding this posture awkward or uncomfortable, another option is to come all the way down on bringing the hip onto the heel to fold forward here. Wherever you're at, just softening the spine and feeling openness through the hamstring. Slowly start to bring that bend back into the left knee as you make your way on into lizard pose on the left side. So here we're kind of letting the left knee soft and open, maybe coming onto the outside edge of that left foot, just noticing the difference it makes to have the foot flat versus to open up onto the outside edge. Again, maybe softening onto the forearms if that's accessible to you. Just bringing the awareness to the breath. When you start to slow down, you give your brain a little bit more time to think. So just trying to be aware of what those thoughts are and letting them release as they come. Coming back up onto the palms. Tuck the right toe and send the left leg long behind you, bending the knee and opening the hip, taking scorpion dog on the other side. This time we're drawing the left shoulder down in line with the right, and we're gazing underneath that right arm, maybe looking at the left toes beneath the armpit. Breathing here. Exhaling to slowly release that left leg down. Gaze to the top of the mat. Bend the knees and hop up, making your way to a seated position. Go ahead and extend those legs long, taking a boat pose. So this is kind of the first level of boat pose. So I want you to explore the different levels and just see where your body's at today. Maybe extending the toes, maybe releasing the arms, maybe extending the arms. But as soon as you start to lose the integrity of the low back, start dumping into the low back, then back off. Find whichever level your body is at today, knowing that there's no wrong or right way to be doing the posture so long as you're being healthy and respecting the integrity of your body. Wherever you're at, start to slowly lower your way into low boat. In low boat, our low back touches the ground, our shoulders are off the earth, and our heels are floating. We're here for 5, 2, 1. Release it all down to the ground. That should feel nice. And then go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Trying to have the fingertips touch the heels as we make our way into a bridge pose. So on your next exhale, start to press down into the heels as you lift the hips up to the sky. Tucking the shoulders underneath your body.
Maybe clasping the hands together as you roll up more onto the shoulder, wherever you're at. Just try to send those hips so high. And slowly release, sending each vertebrae down on the ground at the same time. And then draw the knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice little hug here. You can roll around if that feels good, massaging the low back. And then go ahead and release the right leg long as you draw the left knee into the body and then send it across the body, taking a supine twist. So you can extend the left arm long, resting the right hand on top of the left leg. We're trying to keep our shoulders on the ground and then letting the rest of the twist just come through the spine. Letting each exhale soften you deeper into the ground. Slowly come back through center, hugging both knees in, squeezing it tight to reset the spine. And then releasing the left leg long, drawing the right knee in nice and tight. Go ahead and extend that right arm long as you send the right knee across your body. Again, trying to keep contact between the right shoulder and the earth. And just letting the twist slowly soften. These twists are so beneficial for our digestion, for our internal organ function. This is where all the detoxifying benefits of yoga come from. So feel free to stay in these twists as long as possible. Slowly come back to center. Drawing both knees into your body, squeezing it all in nice and tight. Inhaling here. And exhaling, releasing everything down to the ground, taking your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Feeling the tingle in your fingers, your toes. Releasing the need to control your breath. And this is where the benefits of your practice start to cascade across your body. This is where you absorb everything that you've done. So just feel a sense of gratitude wash over you. That you spent this time investing in yourself, investing in your mental well-being, your physical well-being. I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much for dedicating this time to yourself. The yoga can transform you. So come back to it anytime that you need a mental or physical adjustment. Namaste.